What's poppin', besties? It's your girl Jarama, and I am back again with another video. So today is a wig install, and I will be installing a wig from Jarama Hair. It is a 22-inch straight wig. As y'all can see, they gave me a wig cap and just the wig by itself. This wig is from Amazon. Okay, so straight into the bleaching process. This is the bleach that I will be using, and I'm using a volume 40 developer. I would recommend 20 for a beginner, but since I've done this a lot, I'm using 40, and I use 2 scoops of the bleach and then just pour in the developer. And you want to pour more powder than developer because you don't want the consistency to be too watery. As you can see, I'm stirring it together, and then I'm gonna show y'all once I get it to the right consistency. The consistency of your bleach is very important because if it's too watery and too thin, it will seep through your lace and you're going to over bleach your knots, and trust me, that's not cute. So you see how as I'm scooping it, it's not too thick to the point where it's clumpy, but it's just right. Then I just turned my wig inside out, and you're just going to see me spread the bleach all across the lace. As you can see, it's not too thin to the point where it's seeping through the lace, but it is thin enough to the point where it could be spread out. It's almost kind of like a creamy, buttery, kind of like icing. Similar to icing. You want like an icing type, cake mix type consistency, kind of. I don't really know how to explain it, but y'all see what it looks like. And you just want to spread it all over the lace everywhere. And yes, I'm using a butter knife. It don't matter what you use as long as it's something that you could spread the bleach with. So as you guys can see, the lace is covered with the bleach, and I'm going to be setting my timer to about 20 minutes. I think I did 20 minutes. Did I do 20? Oh, 15 minutes. Well, I set my timer to 15 minutes. Oh, no, 20. My bad, y'all. Set your timer to 20 minutes. I actually ended up bleaching it for like 40 minutes. So this is the wig after I've rinsed the bleach off, and this is the side that I've already plucked. As you can see, I put a white paper towel underneath to make it easier, but look at how much that wig is plucked. So now I'm gonna show y'all how I did it. So first, you want to part off your baby hair. You don't want to start plucking right at the front of the hairline, because then you're just gonna make your hairline recede back and you're gonna look like George Jefferson. So part off your first layer of hair first. Don't make it too thick. As you can see, it's very thin. And then I'm just pulling out a little bit more hair. I'm going little by little. You do not want to part your chunks out too big, and then you're just taking your tweezers and pulling out little hairs. You're pulling it back. Do not, I repeat, please do not pluck your hair in straight lines so that it looks like somebody literally took a fork and started scraping through your wig. I know y'all have seen that on TikTok. Yeah, don't pluck it like that. In my opinion, it doesn't look very natural. What you want to do instead is just pluck in layers behind your wig. So you want to start from the bottom of the wig and go all the way up to about halfway through. As you can see, I'm not doing the center part yet, just to make it easier. Personally, I feel like it's a lot easier to pluck in sections, so then that way you're not overwhelmed and you don't end up over plucking, because you can over pluck your wig. So make sure that you're not creating any bald spots. You're just thinning out each section. Just take your comb, part another section away, pluck, 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 and then repeat it every time, as you can see me doing. And as you can see, I'm using my tweezers, and I'm also going behind the hair, if that makes sense. And I'm just plucking the hair in a straight back motion. I'm not going down because you don't want to damage the lace or create any bald spots in the lace. So you want to make sure that you're plucking straight back. Here's a closer view just so y'all can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And I'm just using my tweezers and going straight back, just grabbing strands of hair and going straight back. And now for the top part, I'm just going to do the same thing, But because I knew I wanted to do a middle part in this wig, if possible, be sure to try to not over pluck where your part is. If you do, there are ways you can fix it, but it's just easier to avoid it. So I'm not going to pluck right where the part is. I'm going to pluck kind of next to the part and then leave that part just as it is. So then that way I'm not over plucking my part. Now for the install, I'm using my bowl hold lace glue. I've already done my ball cap. I have another video on how I do my ball cap if you guys would like to see that. But I just put the ball cap on, put the glue around the perimeter, and now I'm just drying it with my blow dryer after cutting my ears out. And you want to make sure your ball cap is completely dry before you cut it off. And now I'm just cutting off the excess, and you want to try to cut it as close to your hairline as possible while still covering all of your natural hair. And this is how you will keep your wig from being too far down on your forehead. Even this wig install was a little bit further down on my forehead than I would usually like for it to be. So make sure that you're paying attention to how far you're cutting your bald cap back so that it's not too far down on your forehead and it doesn't look like, you know, like a helmet. But it all still worked out. So as you can see, I'm being very careful not to, of course, cut myself with the scissors or anything. And I'm just cutting off the excess bald cap. Now I'm just applying makeup to the bald cap so that it can match my skin color. I would recommend using powder. You can use liquid, but I just feel like liquid could get a little bit too messy as far as being about to put a wig on. So I would definitely recommend using a powder foundation. And make sure that you're not only putting makeup on the perimeter, but you're actually going back on your head, so then that way the part could look natural. This is the wax stick that I use, and I'm just waxing the perimeter of the hair, so then when I install the wig, there's no extra hairs and no extra flyaways getting in the way. This just made the install go a lot cleaner and a lot smoother. Then I'm going to take my hot comb and press all the hairs back. Now I'm just putting makeup on the hairline. I couldn't keep it in my mouth like this the whole time. I just wanted to show y'all what I was doing. Boom. So the wig is on my head, and now I'm making sure that it's the right size, that I like how it fits. And now I'm taking my bowl hold lace glue again, and I'm doing one dot on the bald cap and one dot on my forehead, another dot on the bald cap and another dot on my forehead, and I'm doing that all around the perimeter of my head. And as you can see, I'm not doing too much, but I'm also not doing too little. On the first layer, that's when you want to do the most, and then you get less and less glue every other layer you do. And then I'm taking my butter knife again. Yes, this is a different butter knife. I'm not dirty, y'all. Please don't use, if you use a knife like me, don't use the same knife that you just mixed your bleach with. Get a different butter knife. And I'm just spreading the glue all over, not all over the bald cap, but all around the edge of the bald cap and all around the perimeter of my forehead. And then you want to blow dry the glue until it is clear. Don't mind me, y'all, I'm trying to sing. But blow dry the glue until it is clear. Please wait until it's clear. And once it is clear, keyword clear, very important, get it as clear as possible. I'm going back over and doing the same thing again. This time, because it's the second layer, I'm still using a good amount of glue on both the bald cap and on my forehead. And I'm just spreading it back out. And then I'm going to blow dry it again. And you want to do about 3 layers. I know some people like to do more, but for me, I feel like 3 is the magic number, and I've never gone wrong with 3. I feel like doing more than 3 is just kind of being a little extra, because at that point, the wig is going to stay. At that point, you just put an extra glue on your forehead for no reason. But to each his own. If you want to do 4 layers, that is completely up to you. And then I'm going over it with my blow dryer again until the glue is clear. Now for this last layer, as you can see, I'm only doing the dots on my forehead this time, and I'm just going to do a couple dots on the bald cap. I'm going to be honest, you guys, I don't have a real reason as to why I do this. I just have always done it like this and it's always worked. You can put more glue on the ball cap at this phase if you would like to, but this is just personally what I like to do. And you also want to make sure that you're moving fast. You don't want to give your glue too much time to dry because you want to put the wig on while the glue is still tacky. That's what's going to make it stick. If you wait too long, then the glue is going to dry completely and your wig is not going to stick to your head, and you will have done all of this work and put all of this glue on your face for nothing. Now I'm just using my blow dryer again, and I'm making sure that I blow dry it until it is as clear as possible, because any white chunks that you leave can possibly seep through the lace and you could end up getting glue on your hairline, and you definitely do not want that. So now I've put the wig on my head and I'm pressing it down with my hands just to make sure that it is on there and it is secured and stuck to the glue. And you also want to make sure that you're pressing it down close to the ears and in the middle. Now I'm going over it with my elastic band, and I'm going to let that sit for at least 5 minutes. Now that I've taken the elastic band off, I'm going to part off the piece of the lace that is hanging over my ear just so I could cut that off and customize the wig to fit my head shape. You won't have to do this with every wig you get. I've definitely received wigs where they fit on my head perfectly, but sometimes the lace comes down a little bit further, but that's not a problem. All you have to do is just cut off the excess hair, as you see me doing right here. Be sure that when you're parting, you're making a clear part so that you're not accidentally cutting the hairs that are still connected to your wig, because that will just cause the wig to look awkward and make your baby hairs too short. So there are 2 ways you could cut your lace. You could lay the razor on top of your lace and just pull the lace at the razor so that it's cutting it, or you could just razor it yourself. Now, me personally, I typically don't like to use a razor. I just wanted to show you guys that method of doing it. Or you could just do what I normally do and take a pair of scissors and just cut the lace right off. Super simple. Now, y'all, this tip is very important. This is how you make your wigs last. Any lace that is lifting, before you go in with your setting spray, use your same glue and put that where it's lifting and lay it back down with the blow dryer. Just a little bit, and just do it in tiny spots. As you saw, it was lifting in the middle, so I used that to hold it back down. This is how I make my installs last me for over a week, sometimes even 2 weeks, by making sure that there is no lace lifting in the beginning. Because if you just use setting spray, that is not going to be enough hold if you're trying to get your wig to last you at least a week or possibly even 2 weeks. Now I'm just parting off the hair that I'm going to use to do my baby hairs. For this look, I wanted kind of a soft baby hair look, so I didn't part out too much hair, but I also didn't part out too little amount of hair, because I still like for my baby hairs to be kind of long and dramatic, but I didn't want it to be too thick, if you get what I'm saying. So I did a piece in the middle, a piece on the side, and a sideburn on both sides of my head. Now I'm taking my hot comb and I'm laying the baby hairs forward with the hot comb. Be very careful and try your best not to burn myself. I burned myself before doing this part and it definitely wasn't fun. So be very careful and move slowly. Please do not rush when you're doing this part. Now I'm cutting the hair right below my eyebrow. I would recommend cutting it longer than you know you want it first, and then adjusting it as you see me doing. You could always cut more hair off, but once you cut it, you can't add more hair. Now I'm taking a mini curling iron and I'm curling the hair flipping up. You could curl it flipping down or flipping up. All that matters is that you curl it, so that way your swoop will look a lot more natural and it will be a lot easier to do. And I'm doing that to each piece, even the sideburns. Now, after putting a little bit of mousse on my edges, I'm just taking my comb and I'm swooping it the way that I would like it to go. Just do it the way you would do your natural edges. It takes a couple of tries, but just use your finger and use the comb part. And the way I do it is I use my finger to hold the edges in place before I do the swoop. So I lay them down straight, use my finger to hold it, and then swoop. So as you can see, I'm applying the foam to my baby hairs, and then I'm using the comb and my finger to do the swoop. And just keep going until you get it to your liking. It kind of takes me a couple of tries to get them the way that I want it. As you can see, I'm swooping it multiple times, trying to see which look I like the best. I would recommend using foam if you want the soft baby hair look. If you want something a little bit more harsh that's going to have a lot more hold, then I would recommend using Got To Be Gel. But because I was going for more of a soft, fluffy, a little bit more natural look, then I use my foam. So now that I've laid my edges, I'm going to take my wax stick again, and I'm going to use that to make sure that my hair is laid and it is flat to my head. So first, I start by pushing all the hairs back. I'm making sure that it is just flat, and I'm getting out all the lumps that are in the hair and just anything that's making the wig not look flat. You don't want your wig to look lumpy, so make sure that you're pressing your hot comb flat down towards your head and pushing all of the excess hairs back. And then I'm parting and going section by section and laying my hair down. I didn't use the wax stick on each section because that can make your hair greasy over time. I only used the wax stick when I was hot combing the top. But this will just make sure that your wig is as flat as possible when you go through each section and straighten out any of the lumps. And I make sure to do that on both sides of my head. And as you can see, I'm just taking my wax stick and applying it to the top to make sure that everything is held down and that there are no flyaways whatsoever. And I'm going back in with my hot comb just to re-straighten everything and make sure that it is flat just the way I like it. And now I'm just taking a little bit of concealer and I'm applying it to the part so that it looks more natural. So that is the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, besties.